Hadīth 1. Narrated Jabir bin Abdullāh, I became sick, so Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, and Abu Bakr came on foot to pay me a visit. When they came, I was unconscious. Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, performed ablution and he poured over me the water of his ablution, and I came to my senses and said, O Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him. What shall I do regarding my property? How shall I distribute it? The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, did not reply till the divine verses of inheritance were revealed. Hadīth 2. Narrated Abu Hurairah, Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, said, Beware of suspicion, for it is the worst of false tales, and don't look for the other's faults and don't spy and don't hate each other, and don't desert, cut your relations with one another. O Allah's slaves, be brothers. Hadīth 3. Narrated Aisha, Fatima and Al-Abbas came to Abu Bakr, seeking their share from the property of Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, and at that time, they were asking for their land at Fadak and their share from Khaybar. Abu Bakr said to them, I have heard from Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, saying, Our property cannot be inherited, and whatever we leave is to be spent in charity, but the family of Muhammad may take their provisions from this property. Abu Bakr added, By Allah, I will not leave the procedure I saw Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, following during his lifetime concerning this property. Therefore Fatima left Abu Bakr and did not speak to him till she died. Hadīth 4. Narrated Aisha, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, Our apostles' property should not be inherited, and whatever we leave is to be spent in charity. Hadīth 5. Narrated Malik bin Aus, I went and entered upon Umar. His doorman, Yarfa, came saying, Uthman, Abdur Rahman, Az-Zubayr and Sa'd are asking your permission to see you. May I admit them? Umar said, Yes. So he admitted them. Then he came again and said, May I admit Ali and Abbas? He said, Yes. Abbas said, O chief of the believers, judge between me and this man, Ali. Umar said, I beseech you by Allah by whose permission both the heaven and the earth exist, do you know that Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, said, the apostles' property will not be inherited, and whatever we leave, after our death, is to be spent in charity? And by that Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, meant himself. The group said, No doubt, he said so. Umar then faced Ali and Abbas and said, Do you both know that Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, said that? They replied, No doubt, he said so. Umar said, So let me talk to you about this matter. Allah favored his apostle with something of this fa'i, that is, booty won by the Muslims at war without fighting, which he did not give to anybody else. Allah said, And what Allah gave to his apostle, fa'i booty, to do all things. Surah 59, Ayah 6. And so that property was only for Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him. Yet, by Allah, he neither gathered that property for himself nor withheld it from you, but he gave its income to you, and distributed it among you till there remained the present property out of which the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, used to spend the yearly maintenance for his family, and whatever used to remain, he used to spend it where Allah's property is spent, that is, in charity etc. Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, followed that throughout his life. Now I beseech you by Allah, do you know all that? They said, Yes. Umar then said to Ali and Abbas, I beseech you by Allah, do you know that? Both of them said, Yes. Umar added, And when the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, died, Abu Bakr said, I am the successor of Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, and took charge of that property and managed it in the same way as Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, did. Then I took charge of this property for 2 years during which I managed it as Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, and Abu Bakr did. Then you both, Ali and Abbas, came to talk to me, bearing the same claim and presenting the same case. O Abbas! You came to me asking for your share from the property of your nephew, and this man, Ali, came to me, asking for the share of his wife from the property of her father. I said, if you both wish, I will give that to you on that condition, that is, that you would follow the way of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, and Abu Bakr, and as I, Umar, have done in managing it. Now both of you seek of me a verdict other than that. Lo! By Allah, by whose permission both the heaven and the earth exist, I will not give any verdict other than that till the hour is established. If you are unable to manage it, then return it to me, and I will be sufficient to manage it on your behalf. Hadith 6. Narrated Abu Hurairah, Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, said, not even a single dinar of my property should be distributed, after my death to my inheritors, but whatever I leave, excluding the provision for my wives and my servants, should be spent in charity. Hadith 7. Narrated Urwa, Aisha said, when Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, died, his wives intended to send Uthman to Abu Bakr asking him for their share of the inheritance. Then Aisha said to them, didn't Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, say, our apostles, property is not to be inherited, and whatever we leave is to be spent in charity? Hadith 8. Narrated Abu Hurairah, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, I am more closer to the believers than their own selves, so whoever, of them, dies while being in debt and leaves nothing for its repayment, then we are to pay his debts on his behalf, and whoever, among the believers, dies leaving some property, then that property is for his heirs. Hadith 9. Narrated Ibn Abbas, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, give the Faraa'id, the shares of the inheritance that are prescribed in the Quran, to those who are entitled to receive it. Then whatever remains should be given to the closest male relative of the deceased. Hadith 10. Narrated Sa'd bin Abi Waqqas, I was stricken by an ailment that led me to the verge of death. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, came to pay me a visit. I said, O Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him. I have much property and no heir except my single daughter. Shall I give 2/3 of my property in charity? He said, no. I said, half of it? He said, no. I said, 1/3 of it? He said, you may do so, though 1/3 is also too much, for it is better for you to leave your offspring wealthy than to leave them poor, asking others for help. And whatever you spend, for Allah's sake, you will be rewarded for it, even for a morsel of food which you may put in the mouth of your wife. I said, O Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him. Will I remain behind and fail to complete my emigration? The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, if you are left behind after me, whatever good deeds you will do for Allah's sake, that will upgrade you and raise you high. Maybe you will have long life so that some people may benefit by you and others, the enemies, be harmed by you. But Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, felt sorry for Sa'd bin Khawlah as he died in Makkah. Sufyan, a sub-narrator said that Sa'd bin Khawlah was a man from the tribe of Bani Amir bin Lu'ay. Hadith 11. Narrated Al-Aswad bin Yazid, Mu'adh bin Jabal came to us in Yemen as a tutor and a ruler, and we, the people of Yemen, asked him about the distribution of the property of a man who had died leaving a daughter and a sister. Mu'adh gave the daughter 1/2 of the property and gave the sister the other half. Hadith 12. Narrated Ibn Abbas, Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, said, give the Faraa'id, shares prescribed in the Quran, to those who are entitled to receive it, and whatever remains should be given to the closest male relative of the deceased. Hadith 13. Narrated Huzayl bin Shurahbil, Abu Musa was asked regarding the inheritance of a daughter, a son's daughter, and a sister. He said, the daughter will take 1/2 and the sister will take 1/2. If you go to Ibn Mas'ud, he will tell you the same. Ibn Mas'ud was asked and was told of Abu Musa's verdict. Ibn Mas'ud then said, if I give the same verdict, I would stray and would not be of the rightly guided. The verdict I will give in this case, will be the same as the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, did, that is, 1/2 is for daughter, and 1/6 for the son's daughter, that is, both shares make 2/3 of the total property, and the rest is for the sister. Afterwards we came to Abu Musa and informed him of Ibn Mas'ud's verdict, whereupon he said, so, do not ask me for verdicts, as long as this learned man is among you. Hadith 14. Narrated Ibn Abbas, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, give the Fara'id, the shares prescribed in the Quran, to those who are entitled to receive it, and then whatever remains should be given to the closest male relative of the deceased. Hadith 15. Narrated Ibn Abbas, the person about whom Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, said, if I were to take a Khalil from this nation, my followers, then I would have taken him, that is, Abu Bakr, but the Islamic Brotherhood is better, or said, good, regarded a grandfather as the father himself, in inheritance. Hadith 16. Narrated Ibn Abbas, during the early days of Islam, the inheritance used to be given to one's offspring and legacy used to be bequeathed to the parents, then Allah cancelled what he wished from that order and decreed that the male should be given the equivalent of the portion of 2 females, and for the parents 1/6 for each of them, and for one's wife 1/8, if the deceased has children, and 1/4, if he has no children, for one's husband 1/2, if the deceased has no children, and 1/4, if she has children. Hadith 17. Narrated Abu Hurairah, Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, gave the judgment that a male or female slave should be given in qisas for an abortion case of a woman from the tribe of Bani Lihyan, as blood money for the fetus, but the lady on whom the penalty had been imposed died, so the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, ordered that her property be inherited by her offspring and her husband, and that the penalty be paid by her asabah. Hadith 18. Narrated Al-Aswad, Mu'adh bin Jabal gave this verdict for us in the lifetime of Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him. 1/2 of the inheritance is to be given to the daughter and the other half to the sister. Sulaiman said, Mu'adh gave a verdict for us, but he did not mention that it was so in the lifetime of Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him. Hadith 19. Narrated Huzayl, Abdullāh said, the judgment I will give in this matter will be like the judgment of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, that is, 1/2 is for the daughter and 1/6 for the son's daughter, and the rest of the inheritance for the sister. Hadith 20. Narrated Jabir, while I was sick, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, entered upon me and asked for some water to perform ablution, and after he had finished his ablution, he sprinkled some water of his ablution over me, whereupon I became conscious and said, O Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, I have sisters. Then the divine verses regarding the laws of inheritance were revealed. Hadith 21. Narrated Al-Barā, the last Quranic verse that was revealed, to the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, was the final verse of Surah An-Nisa, that is, they ask you for a legal verdict. Say, Allah directs, thus, about those who leave no descendants or ascendants as heirs. Surah 4, Ayah 176. Hadith 22. Narrated Abu Hurairah, Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, said, I am more closer to the believers than their own selves, so whoever, among them, dies leaving some inheritance, his inheritance will be given to his asabah, and whoever dies leaving a debt or dependents or destitute children, then I am their supporter. Hadith 23. Narrated Ibn Abbas, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, give the Fara'id, the shares of the inheritance that are prescribed in the Quran, to those who are entitled to receive it, and whatever is left should be given to the closest male relative of the deceased. Hadith 24. Narrated Ibn Abbas, regarding the holy verse, and to everyone, we have appointed heirs. And, to those also to whom your right hands have pledged. Surah 4, Ayah 33. When the emigrants came to Medina, the Ansar used to be the heir of the emigrants, and vice versa, instead of their own kindred by blood, and that was because of the bond of brotherhood which the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, had established between them, that is, the Ansar and the emigrants. But when the divine verse, and to everyone we have appointed heirs, Surah 4, Ayah 33, was revealed, it cancelled the other order, that is, to those also, to whom your right hands have pledged. Hadīth 25. Narrated Ibn Umar, a man and his wife had a case of li'an, or Mula'ana, during the lifetime of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, and the man denied the paternity of her child. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, gave his verdict for their separation, divorce, and then the child was regarded as belonging to the wife only. Hadīth 26. Narrated Aisha, Utbah bin Abi Waqqas, said to his brother Sa'd, the son of the slave girl of Zamah is my son, so be his custodian. So when it was the year of the conquest of Makkah, Sa'd took that child and said, he is my nephew, and my brother told me to be his custodian. On that, Abdu bin Zamah got up and said, but the child is my brother, and the son of my father's slave girl as he was born on his bed. So they both went to the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him. Sa'd said, O Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him. This is, the son of my brother and he told me to be his custodian. Then Abdu bin Zamah said, but he is, my brother and the son of the slave girl of my father, born on his bed. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, this child is for you, O Abdu bin Zamah, as the child is for the owner of the bed, and the adulterer receives the stones. He then ordered his wife, Saudah bin Zamah, to cover herself before that boy as he noticed the boy's resemblance to Utbah. Since then the boy had never seen Saudah till he died. Hadīth 27. Narrated Abu Hurairah, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, the boy is for the owner of the bed. Hadīth 28. Narrated Aisha, I bought Barira, a female slave. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, to me, buy her, as the wallah is for the manumitted. Once she was given a sheep, in charity. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, it, the sheep, is a charitable gift for her, Barira, and a gift for us. Al-Hakam said, Barira's husband was a free man. Ibn Abbas said, when I saw him, he was a slave. Hadīth 29. Narrated Ibn Umar, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, the wallah is for the manumitted, of the slave. Hadīth 30. Narrated Abdullāh, the Muslims did not free slaves as Sahaba, but the people of the pre-Islamic period of ignorance used to do so. Hadīth 31. Narrated Al-Aswad, Aisha bought Barira in order to manumit her, but her masters stipulated that her wallah, after her death, would be for them. Aisha said, O Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him. I have bought Barira in order to manumit her, but her masters stipulated that her wallah will be for them. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, manumit her as the wallah is for the one who manumits, the slave, or said, the one who pays her price. Then Aisha bought and manumitted her. After that, Barira was given the choice, by the Prophet, to stay with her husband or leave him. She said, if he gave me so much and so much money, I would not stay with him. Al-Aswad added, her husband was a free man. The sub-narrator added, the series of the narrators of Al-Aswad's statement is incomplete. The statement of Ibn Abbas, that is, when I saw him he was a slave, is more authentic. Hadīth 32. Narrated Ali, we have no book to recite except the book of Allah, Quran, and this paper. Then Ali took out the paper, and behold, There was written in it legal verdicts about the retaliation for wounds, the ages of the camels, to be paid as zakat or as blood money. In it was also written, Medina is a sanctuary from air, mountain, to Thawr, mountain. So whoever innovates in it an heresy, something new in religion, or commits a crime in it or gives shelter to such an innovator, will incur the curse of Allah, the angels and all the people, and none of his compulsory or optional good deeds will be accepted on the day of resurrection. And whoever, a freed slave, takes as his master, that is, befriends, some people other than his real masters without the permission of his real masters, will incur the curse of Allah, the angels and all the people, and none of his compulsory or optional good deeds will be accepted on the day of resurrection. And the asylum granted by any Muslim is to be secured by all the Muslims, even if it is granted by one of the lowest social status among them, and whoever betrays a Muslim in this respect will incur the curse of Allah, the angels, and all the people, and none of his compulsory or optional good deeds will be accepted on the day of resurrection. Hadith 33. Narrated Ibn Umar, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, forbade the selling of the wallah, of slaves, or giving it as a present. Hadith 34. Narrated Ibn Umar, that Aisha, the mother of the believers, intended to buy a slave girl in order to manumit her. The slave girl's master said, "We are ready to sell her to you on the condition that her wallah should be for us." Aisha mentioned that to Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, who said, "This condition should not prevent you from buying her, for the wallah is for the one who manumits, the slave." Hadith 35. Narrated Al-Aswad, Aisha said, "I bought Barira and her masters stipulated that the wallah would be for them." Aisha mentioned that to the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, and he said, "Manumit her, as the wallah is for the one who gives the silver, that is, pays the price for freeing the slave." Aisha added, "So I manumitted her." After that, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, called her, Barira, and gave her the choice to go back to her husband or not. She said, "If he gave me so much and so much money, I would not stay with him." So she selected her own self, that is, refused to go back to her husband. Hadith 36. Narrated Ibn Umar, when Aisha intended to buy Barira, she said to the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, Barira's masters stipulated that they will have the wallah. The Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, to Aisha, buy her, as the wallah is for the one who manumits. Hadith 37. Narrated Aisha, Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, said, the wallah is for the one who gives the silver, pays the price, and does the favor of manumission after paying the price. Hadith 38. Narrated Anas bin Malik, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, the freed slave belongs to the people who have freed him, or said something similar. Hadith 39. Narrated Anas bin Malik, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, the son of the sister of some people is from them or from their own selves. Hadith 40. Narrated Abu Hurairah, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, if somebody dies, among the Muslims, leaving some property, the property will go to his heirs, and if he leaves a debt or dependents, we will take care of them. Hadith 41. Narrated Usama bin Zayd, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, a Muslim cannot be the heir of a disbeliever, nor can a disbeliever be the heir of a Muslim. Hadith 42. Narrated Aisha, Sa'd bin Abi Waqqas and Abdu bin Zama had a dispute over a boy. Sa'd said, O Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him. This boy is the son of my brother, Utbah bin Abi Waqqas, who told me to be his custodian as he was his son. Please notice to whom he bears affinity. And Abdu bin Zama said, this is my brother, O Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him. He was born on my father's bed by his slave girl. Then the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, looked at the boy and noticed evident resemblance between him and Utbah, so he said, "He, the boy, is for you, O Abdu bin Zamah, for the boy is for the owner of the bed, and the stone is for the adulterer. Screen yourself before the boy, O Saudah bin Zamah." Aisha added, since then he had never seen Saudah. Hadith 43. Narrated Sa'd, I heard the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, saying, whoever claims to be the son of a person other than his father, and he knows that person is not his father, then paradise will be forbidden for him. I mentioned that to Abu Bakr, and he said, my ears heard that and my heart memorized it from Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him. Hadith 44. Narrated Abu Hurairah, the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, said, do not deny your fathers, that is, claim to be the sons of persons other than your fathers, and whoever denies his father, is charged with disbelief. Hadith 45. Narrated Abu Hurairah, Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, said, there were two women with whom there were their two sons. A wolf came and took away the son of one of them. That lady said to her companion, the wolf has taken your son. The other said, but it has taken your son. So both of them sought the judgment of the Prophet, David, who judged that the boy should be given to the older lady. Then both of them went to the Prophet, Solomon, son of David, and informed him of the case. Solomon said, give me a knife so that I may cut the child into two portions and give one half to each of you. The younger lady said, do not do so, may Allah bless you. He is her child. On that, he gave the child to the younger lady. Abu Hurairah added, by Allah, I had never heard the word sikeen as meaning knife, except on that day, for we used to call it mudyah. Hadith 46. Narrated Aisha, Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, once entered upon me in a very happy mood, with his features glittering with joy, and said, O Aisha, won't you see that Mujaziz, a Qa'if, looked just now at Zayd bin Haritha and Usama bin Zayd and said, these feet, of Usama and his father, belong to each other. Hadith 47. Narrated Aisha, once Allah's Messenger, peace and blessings be upon him, entered upon me and he was in a very happy mood and said, O Aisha, don't you know that Mujaziz al-Mudliji entered and saw Usama and Zayd with a velvet covering on them and their heads were covered while their feet were uncovered? He said, these feet belong to each other.